So this video, I'm doing the Kelantan Addmaths trial for 2022. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so these are the formulas. Okay, question 1. Number 1A, express square root 45 in terms of a square root b, where a and b are positive integer. So we need to know that if they want you to express in this form, it means they want you to simplify. That's what it means. Okay, so how to how to simplify square root 45? First, we need to think about the numbers. What times what is 45? So we know 1 times 45, 3 times 15, 5 times 9, what else? 6 no, 7 no, 8 no, 9 no. Okay, so I would change the 45 to 5 times 9. So it would be square root 5 times, sorry, square root 5 times square root 9, right? So square root 9 times 5, okay, or 5 times 9. Why I will not choose this is because 1 cannot square root, 45 cannot square root, 3 also cannot square root, 15 square root. Actually, 1 can square root, but it doesn't help because square root 1 is 1. So it doesn't simplify it. So that's why I end up choosing 5 times 9, because 9 is a perfect square. And 9 is the, how to say, the largest perfect square that 45 can be divided by. Okay, if it makes sense. So you have to think about the biggest value of perfect square that the 45 can divide, which is 9. So square root 9 we know is 3, and square root 5 we'll just leave it beside like this. Okay, so that's how you simplify. So Alan B, they say that the 2x plus 1, but did you see that where they write the 2x plus 1, they write it like very small, like here. So it means that should be the end root, right? So it means if I give you something like this, 256 power square root, it means 256 power 1 over 2, right? But if I say cube root, then this will be power 1 over 3. But if I say this is 4, then this will be 1 over 4, right? So what if I say this is n? Then this whole thing will be 1 over n, right? But now it's 2x plus 1. So it's actually 256 power 1 over 2x plus 1, right? Equals to 512 power, same thing here, 1 over 2x plus 2. Okay, that's how you do it. All right, so let's erase this. Okay, now we can focus on doing this. Okay, how we want to do it? Maybe some of you will say tambah log both sides. Okay, can also. If you want to use the tambah log both sides method, can also. But I don't recommend, because the first thing is you should check the base and see whether you can change to same base or not. If they cannot change to same base, then only you add log both sides. Okay, so you only add log both sides when it's an ugly answer. And this one actually is not the ugly answer. How I know is because 256 and 512, they can both change to base 2. Okay, 2 power 8 is 256. But don't forget there's another one. You have to write the 1 over 2x plus 1 beside, outside the bracket. And 2 power, what is 512? I think it's 2 power 9. Let's try with calculator. 2 power 9. Oh yes, really. You really get 512. So let's write 2 power 9 here, and then 1 over 2x plus 2. And don't forget, if the power is beside each other like this, you should times them. So when you times, it becomes 8 over 2x plus 1 and equals to 2 power 9 over 2x plus 2. You can see that there is no need to add log also for this question. You don't need to tambah log for this question, because you can change to same base. And once you change to same base, now you can compare the power, right? So when you compare the power, it will be 8 over 2x plus 1 equals to 9 over 2x plus 2. Now you see that the something over something equals something over something, you can cross multiply. Darab silang. So 8 times 2x is 16x, 8 times 2 is 16, 9 times 2x is 18x, 9 times 1 is 9. 18 minus 16 is 2x, plus 9 move there, become minus, it will be 7, so x equals to 7 over 2, right? So that's the answer for question 1. All right, let's go to question number 2. So I think this is linear law. Just by looking at the axis and the graph, it's a linear law question, definitely a linear law. So x and y are related by this equation. So the moment they give us equation, I will straight away change to linear form, right? That's how I teach in class also, right? In linear law, we don't care about all the other stuff. If they give you equation, the first thing is you have to make the equation sama dengan paksi y. Okay? And then susun jadi linear form first. Okay, but let's keep reading. Let's finish reading the whole soalan first. X and y are related by this equation where h and k are constant. A straight line graph is obtained by plotting xy against x squared. So the y-axis is xy and the x-axis is x squared, as shown in the diagram. Find h ratio k. Okay, if you want to find h ratio k, we need to know the value of h, and we need to find the value of k, and then we need to take h divide k. Okay, because h ratio k is actually h over k. Okay, you should know this. Nisba is like fraction one. It means if you want H ratio K, you need to get the value of H over K. Okay. Okay. So what should I do now? The first thing I should do now is changing this equation to linear form. All right. Is this equation in linear form? The answer is no, because in linear form it should be y equals mx plus c, and the equation punya y-axis should be matched with the graph punya y-axis. And now I don't see xy here. So what I have to do is I have to modify it lah. I have to do something here. So I'll write like this: ky equals to x minus h over x. Okay, it's just the same thing. I just put the ky on the left hand side. Why I put on the left hand side? So that I can focus on changing the ky to xy. So the k mau ke tak mau? I tak mau. I tak mau. Because equation kena sama dengan paksi y. So I will divide by k, divide by k. This one also divide by k. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to hilangkan k. So I can cut. I left with y. And this one is x over k, right? So you can just write 1 over kx minus, what happens here? H over xk ataupun kx. Okay, is this linear form? The answer is no. It's still no, because equation masih belum sama dengan paksi y. Paksi y is xy sekarang. So now for my last step, I will take everything times x. And the reason I'm doing this is so that my equation sama dengan y axis. So times x, I get xy. Times x, I get 1 over k. Times x, I get minus h over k. 1 over kx times x is actually 1 over kx squared. Yeah. And then minus h over k. Okay, the x will hilang lah because you can cut, right? Now finally, I can finally write. Now finally, this is linear form. Now I can write y equals to mx plus c. But make sure the y and x must use huruf besar. But what if you're not confident? You know, you're not sure. Macam betul ke saya punya? If you're not sure, it's okay. You can check your answer. How you check your answer? You check and see. Adakah y-axis our xy? The answer is yes, because look at the y-axis. You know, it match. And then check for your x-axis. Adakah x-axis our x square? The answer is also true. You see, the x-axis is x squared. It means your gradient is what? Your gradient is 1 over k, and your y-intercept is negative h over k. Don't forget the negative. So let's mention again. What's your gradient? 1 over k is your gradient, not k. 1 over k. And then what is your y-intercept? Not h over k. The negative also have to take. So negative h over k equals to c, which is your y-intercept. And when you write y-intercept, the y have to use rho besar. Okay, because your y-axis is not actually y, it's xy. That is why you have to use huruf besar. Okay, now finally I can start to focus on finding the h and k. So we all know 1 over k is gradient. So can I find gradient daripada graph? The answer is yes, because this is a straight line and I can find the gradient. They give us 2 points here. So the gradient will be y minus y, 2 minus 0, divide 12 minus 6. So the answer is, okay, we know 12 minus 6 is 6, right? So 2 over 6, 1 over 3. So 1 over k is equals to 1 over 3. And now you can darab silang, cross multiply. K times 1 is k, 3 times 1 is 3. Now I get my k value. But you can't stop here. You cannot stop here because the answer wants h over k, not just k only. So we have to keep going. Negative h over k equals to y-intercept. But I realized that I don't know my y-intercept. The y-intercept is not 6. This is not the y-intercept. This is the x-intercept. So if I want the y-intercept, I should panjangkan this line. Panjangkan this line. This is the y-intercept. And I don't know what is this. I don't know this point. So now what I can do is I can use passes through punya cara lah. I can use gantikan punya cara untuk cari y-intercept. So what I will do now is I will refer to my equation. I'll refer to my equation, which is this one. So and then I will write y equals to mx plus c, right? And the c I don't know, but the m I already know it's 1 over k, right? Do you remember y equals to m and the gradient is 1 over k? And we already know the gradient is 1 over 3. Because just now you find already, right? So 1 over 3. Now, if I want to find c, what I can do is I can passes through any one of these point lah. 6-0 pun boleh, 12-2 pun boleh. Okay, you ganti yang mana pun the answer is same one. So let's ganti the 6-0 point. So passes through 6-0. So now I will ganti 0 inside the big Y and then 6 into the big X. Okay, let me explain why I use big Y and big X. Because if I use this xy and x square, some student will silap go and take x times y and they will take 6 times 0, which is wrong. Because this 6 is already x squared and this 0 is already xy. So you don't have to square again or times them together again. That is why I use the big X and the big Y to represent, so that you are not confused by it. 6 divided 3 is 2, c is -2. Finally, I know my y-intercept is -2. But you cannot stop here because your y-intercept is negative h over k. It means negative h over k equals to -2 and k is 3. So now I can say that my h is positive 6 because -2 times -3 is 6. And what they want actually, they want h over k, right? So I will write dot h over k equals to what? 6 over 3, right? So therefore, I can cut it 2 over 1. So h ratio k is actually 2 ratio 1. So this should be your final answer, right? Okay, let me check with the schema. Number 2, yep, 2 ratio 1, that's the answer. Let's keep going with question 3. This is obviously trigonometric. Form 5, chapter 5, I think. Okay, diagram 2 shows a unit circle. The moment you see this word unit circle, you should straight away know that the radius is 1 unit. This is -1. This is -1. This is 1. And this is also radius. Can you see it? So this is also 1 actually. And one more you can write is you can write the CS here. You can write the CS here. The CS here means what? Cos theta equals to -p. The sine theta equals to q. That's what it means. Okay. All right. T negative PQ, where is it? Okay, it's here. Is a point on the rotating ray of angle. Okay, we can see that. And then find in terms of P, this one and this one. Okay, you cannot do the AB first. Okay, you can't do it. Because in trigonometry, there's how many type of question? There's 4 type of question. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. The first type of question that will come out in your SPM or in your exam is they will ask you to find okay, the graph sketching question. Okay, the graph sketching question, where I will ask you to draw sine 2x ataupun 2 sine x and so on. Second type of question is the proving punya soalan. The third type of question is they ask you to solve for theta. Okay, and the fourth type of question is they will ask you to solve also, but solve something theta. And what this something means is like maybe sine theta or cos theta or cosec theta, like this. And this type of question is obviously belong to the fourth type of question, where they ask you to find something theta. They never ask you to find theta. So you don't have to tekan like shift sine, shift cos, shift tangent, all those. Because those only the question type 3 only you have to do that. For this one, they want you to keep the trigo in front. So it's definitely the fourth type of question. And I mentioned in class, if it's the fourth type of question, what you have to do? You have to locate the triangle. If you don't locate, you can't do. You have to locate. That's just the step. So the first thing first is you have to locate. And this angle is belong to quadrant 2. So it's like this. So your right angle should be tarik towards x-axis and 90 degree. Okay. And we actually know some points here because we all know that the hypotenuse is 1. And we also know that the negative, when you butcher here is negative p, means the panjang here is p units. Okay. I know there's a negative, but I will ignore the negative. Okay. Because I want to know the length. The negative only indicates the quadrant. Ataupun, yeah, is on the left, right? That's why negative. Okay, and then this one I don't know, right? But I can find this. How to find this? Just open a square root. Bracket square minus bracket square. Why minus? Because you're finding the short one. And this is 1, this is p. So it will be square root 1 minus p square. After you draw this, then only you can jawab A. Okay, that's just how it is. Because if you don't draw this and you go straight away, it's very hard to do. Okay, let's go. Find the value of sec theta. So how to find sec theta? Sec theta, the formula is 1 over, look at the third letter, 1, 2, 3. The third letter is C, so 1 over cos. If the third letter is S, then it's 1 over sine. Okay, what is cos theta punya formula? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So we can look here and we will know what is my adjacent. Okay, my theta is here, right? Can you see it's outside the right angle? It's not inside. So where will be my opposite? Takkanlah you tengok depan sudut here, there's no triangle here. So what you do is you will pinjam this angle. You will pinjam this angle. Even though this angle is not same as this angle, but this angle is the reference angle for this. It's the angle towards x for this. So you can pinjam this theta to get the value of cos theta. And then you just have to consider quadrant whether to add negative or not. Okay. So let's see from here, what is my adjacent? Okay, depan angle, we call it opposite. Depan 90, we call it hypotenuse. And this is the adjacent. So the adjacent is P. So P will be my adjacent and hypotenuse will be my 1. Okay. But of course, this is not cos theta. This is cos theta punya reference angle. And in order to get cos theta, you have to tambah negative because the theta belongs to quadrant 2, right? Because I'm only the P over 1 is cos this angle, but I want cos this angle, which is 180 minus this. Because it's in second quadrant. So in second quadrant, we all know add sugar to coffee, only sign positive. That's why you have add negative. So the answer is negative P. That's the answer. Okay, let me explain another method to do it. Do you remember just now I write CS here? It means the cos theta equals to negative P and the sine theta equals to Q. So you can also use this method to do. Since cos theta is negative p, so it'll be 1 over negative p. Because sec is 1 over cos, right? So it's just 1 over negative p. And that's the answer. Okay. Okay, I think I made a mistake here. This shouldn't be negative p, right? I terbalik already, right? Okay, sorry. It should be 1. Okay, divide negative p over 1 is actually 1 times negative 1 over p. Because the divide here can change to times and you have to terbalik these two, right? So the answer should be negative 1 over p. Okay. And if you use the other method to do, or just by looking here, you will also get the same answer. All right. So that is the answer. Okay, then maybe student will ask, hey, then what's the use of drawing this? It's useless. Okay. Why not just do it like this, right? Why need to draw? Because is this question they ask for cos, but what if they ask for sine or tangent? Then if you don't look it, then you can't know, because if for sine and tangent you need the opposite, because sine punya formula is OH, tangent punya is OA. So of course so drawing is always the first step if you're dealing with this kind of question. Just remember in exam when you do triangle and you see that they ask for something theta, the first step is you need the triangle and you need all three sides. Okay, B question they ask for tangent 45 plus theta. So this one you can see a plus there. So we can use the multiple angle formula, the addition subtraction one. So there's a formula that looks like this: tangent A plus minus B equals to what? Did you hafal this formula? It would be tangent A plus minus tangent B over 1 minus plus tangent A tangent B. If I'm not mistaken, this is how the formula looks like. Okay, let's scroll up to the formula sheet and see and find this formula. So tangent A plus minus tangent B over 1 minus plus tangent A tangent B. Okay, let's scroll up. The formula is given in exam 1. So I already found it. Did you found it? It's here, right? Can you see it? So this is the one. This is the one. Okay. Tangent A plus minus tangent B or 1 minus plus tangent A. I asked you to hafal this one, right? In class. So starting from here, these are the basic identity. And then this is the double angle, also need to memorize. And then this is the multiple angle. Okay, or sometimes you call it addition, subtraction. Even though they give you an exam, it's still better to have it memorized. Okay, so let's come back here. So obviously the 45 will be the A and the theta will be the B lah. Okay, so now we can break it down into this, right? So according to the formula, I can break this down into what? Tangent A plus minus tangent B. But what is A, what is B? In my case, 45 is the A, theta is the B. And then over 1 minus plus, you should write minus, okay? This one I should write plus just now. Because if this is plus, then this is plus, this is minus. But if this is minus, then this is minus, this is plus, right? But now my case is plus. That is why atas dengan atas, so plus, and then atas is minus, so atas is minus. And then tangent A, tangent B, which is tangent A is 45, and then times with tangent B, which is tangent theta. Now I can try to do this. So we all know tangent 45 is actually 1. Okay, so 1 plus tangent theta over 1 minus tangent 45 is also 1. So 1 times tangent theta is just tangent theta. I want to explain why I know the tangent 45 is 1. Because I hafal this table. Okay, and I also give you this table in class. We have 30, we have 45, we have 60, we have sine, we have cos, we have tangent. And how I teach you to hafal? Here is 1 over 2, here is also 1 over 2. This and this value same. And then here is cert 3 over 2, this is also cert 3 over 2. And then this is 1 over cert 2, this is 1 over cert 2. And this is 1 over cert 3. And then this is 1, this is cert 3. Okay, so it's because I got hafal this, that's why I know. So tangent 45 is 1. Okay, so this table you pernah salin before one. Okay, all right, so let's come back here. So is this your final answer? No, right? You still have to masuk in the tangent theta and over 1 minus tangent theta. So we all know tangent punya formula is TOA, opposite over adjacent. So that's why it's important to draw. If you don't draw this, how you want to know what's your opposite? You don't know, right? So what's your opposite? Square root 1 minus p square. So let's come back here. Square root 1 minus p square. And what is your adjacent? Because you have to take opposite over adjacent, right? So opposite over adjacent, which is p lah, right? So I will put in p here. So here also you write the same thing, square root 1 minus p square over p. But this is also wrong. Why wrong? Because I told you already, this, when you write 1 minus p square, square root 1 minus p square over p, it's not the tangent theta. it's tangent theta punya reference angle. You just pinjam this angle to get the value for sementara. You still have to consider quadrant because your theta is in second quadrant, and in second quadrant only sign positive. It means I have to add a negative to complete like this. Okay, then only then only it's correct. Okay, because the real theta is not just like this. The real theta is like this. So opposite over adjacent. Okay, let's come back here and we expand this, then we should get the answer, right? So let's continue. First, I think I will hilangkan fraction lah. So 1 times p is p, and then plus minus is just minus square root 1 minus p square over p. And then this whole thing have to divide. So divide with, okay, divide with, same thing here, I will samakan bawah. 1 times p is p, minus minus become plus square root 1 minus p square over p. Okay, I'm just taking this 1 times p to make the pembawah same. All right, now let's continue to simplify. P minus square root 1 minus p square over p, divide can jadi times p over p plus square root 1 minus p square, cut, and then left with p minus square root 1 minus p square over p plus square root 1 minus p square, right? So I believe that's the answer. Okay. Yep. Okay. So that's all right. Yep, that's all. Okay, let's go to number 4. Number 4, what chapter is this? Let's see. Given that 4x squared minus 3y minus 1 equals 0, find the range of values of x if y smaller than 5. I think this is belong to quadratic chapter. Okay, so let's write it down. 4x squared minus 3y, not 3x, 3y minus 1 equals 0. Find the range of values of x. So the moment you see this word range, it means your answer will have this symbol, this symbol, or this symbol, or this symbol, or this one of this symbol. Okay. Okay, so find the range of values of x if y is smaller than 5. Okay, first thing first is a lot of students, they struggle with this type of question, the inequality. This is called the inequality symbol. So what I recommend is you just anggap dia sebagai equal. Okay, you just anggap dia sebagai equal. Because if you anggap dia sebagai equal, you can do a lot of stuff. For example, you just ganti the y equals to 5 here, right? And then it will be 4x squared minus 3 times 5, 15. And then minus 1 equals 0. 4x squared, negative 15 minus 1 is negative 16, right? So you write negative 16 equal 0. And now you can find x, right? You can find x. So how you find x? You can, okay, first of all, you can simplify 4 and 16. They both can divide 4. So bahagi 4 is 1, bahagi 4 is 4. And then you factorize x squared minus 2 squared equals 0, bracket, bracket, equals 0. And then x minus 2, x plus 2. Therefore, the x is equals to 2. The x is equals to negative 2, right? But of course, if you do it like this, it's wrong. The reason why it's wrong is because it's not y equals to 5. It's y smaller than 5. It means I anggap dia sebagai y equals to 5 to make things easier for me. But then I still have to consider the symbol. After I do all this, I still have to consider the symbol. So the symbol says what? Y has to be smaller than 5. Okay, it means y is not equals to 5. Y is smaller than 5. It means 4, 3, 2, 1 like this. So what is your answer? What should you write here? Okay, if the soalan says y smaller than 5, then I will write like this. X in between the smaller number 2 and negative 2, which one is the smaller number? Negative 2. So negative 2 I'll put in front, 2 I'll put at the back. Okay. But what if this is a bigger? If this is a bigger case, then I will write different. I'll write like this. X smaller than the smaller number, negative 2, comma, x bigger than 2. So this will be my answer if the soalan says bigger. But if it's a smaller, then I'll write like this. Okay. So let's erase this. So erase. So my answer is what? Is this. Okay? X in between negative 2 and 2 because they use the word smaller, right? Just remember, when they give you smaller, bigger, you just anggap dia macam equal saja. Okay? And then at the end only you try to change back the equal to this. Okay? But you don't go and change like this. Some students, they change like this, because they see smaller, so they just change to smaller, and then they thought this is the answer. Which is wrong also. Okay, so this is the correct way lah. Okay, let's go to B here. So the B says if one of the root, okay, the moment you see this word, you know already, use solve method. Because when you see the word roots, but you never see the two different roots or two equal roots, no roots, you just see the word roots, without anything in front, right? They never say two different, two equal, or no roots, then it's definitely use swap method already. Okay, so this is definitely swap method. So you say if one of the root of this equation, let's write it down, x square. Okay, if I am you, I'll just take the negative times inside. So it'll be negative 10 minus minus become plus 5 over 2m, and then I will keep the x here, and then plus 2 over m equals 0. The reason why I direct muscle is so that I can write plus here, then I can see what's my a, which is 1, and then what my b, and then my c, right? And the reason I'm doing this is because I want my equation to look nice, to be general form. So now it's general form already, it's look nice already. My a, my b, my c all written nicely. Now it says what? Given one, if one of the root is reciprocal to another root, find the value of its discriminant. Okay, first of all, what is discriminant? Discriminant is actually the b square minus 4ac. Okay, that's discriminant. Okay, so remember, discriminant means they want to find the b square minus 4ac. But you don't worry about this first. Worry about finding the value of m first. Because if you don't know the value of m, can you find the b square minus 4ac? You cannot. Because the b square minus 4ac formula is take the b value minus 4 times a times c. But the problem is you don't even know what is your b value and your c value. Why? Because the m is there. Means you have to focus on finding the value of m first. Even though this soalan never says find m, but you still have to find m. Because you don't find m, you can't get this. So let's find m. And how to do that? Use the solve for. First of all, I will let x1 equals to alpha, and then x2 equals to 1 over alpha. Let me explain. They say one of the root is reciprocal. The reciprocal here means that if it means the x, if one of the roots is, let's say, 2, then the other root is 1 over 2. That's what it means. If it's one of the root is 3, then the other one is 1 over 3. Okay, so if one of the root is alpha, then the other one is 1 over alpha. But of course, you don't have to use alpha. You can use any alphabet you want. Okay, so that's what reciprocal means. And then after that, you can use the SOR and the POR method. So what is SOR punya formula? The SOR formula is like this: x1 plus x2 equals to negative b over a, and the POR formula is x1 times x2 equals to c over a. Okay, so what's x1 plus x2? Alpha plus 1 over alpha equals to negative b over a. So what is the b? Negative, okay, the b is the whole thing here in front of x, right? So negative 10 plus 5 over 2m, and then over a. But your a is 1, right? So if it's 1, tak payah tulis lah. Because over 1 is like, you can just not write it. Okay, what is alpha plus 1 over alpha? Okay, when you plus together, you cannot just tell me like, oh, alpha plus 1 over alpha. No, wrong. This is wrong. So what is alpha plus 1 over alpha? It's actually alpha square plus 1 over alpha. Because you will make the pembawa same first. And what you do is you times this with alpha so that the denominator becomes same. That's why it becomes alpha square. And then baru plus 1 over alpha equals to negative, negative become positive. And then the plus 5 over 2 will become minus 5 over 2m. And I think I will stop here. The reason is because there's nothing much to do already, because you have alpha, you have m in one equation, and doesn't matter how you pindah, you can't find the value of m because the alpha will kacau you. When you try to find alpha, the m will kacau you. When you try to find m, the alpha will kacau you. So at this point, you will stop here and go to product of root because you need help from another equation. You can't do this alone. You have to get some help from the other equation. So let's go to POR, and the POR formula is this: x1 times x2, which is alpha times 1 over alpha equals to c over a, and the c is 2 over m, but the a is 1. So over 1, I already say you don't have to write. Alpha and alpha cut is 1 equals to 2 over m, so m is equals to 2 over 1, which is 2. So finally, I got the help I need, which is m equals to 2. So now can I gantikan the m with 2 here and then find alpha? Can, right? But you don't have to. Do you know why you don't have to do that? Because the question didn't even ask you to find m. I mean, the question didn't even ask you to find the alpha. Ataupun they never ask you to find the roots. If they ask you to find the roots, means you need to know the alpha. But I don't need, because what they want is actually the value of discriminant. And to get the discriminant, I just need the value of m. I don't need anything else. I don't need the roots. Okay. So now I know my value of m is 2 already. So I should be able to get my discriminant, even if I don't know the alpha. So now what I will do is, I will not erase this. Even though this working is useless, I will not erase. I will just keep it like this. And then I will just write my new equation. It will be x squared plus negative 10 plus 5 over 2m. And I already know m is 2. Close bracket, x plus 2 over m equals to 0. So now what I do is I will just
get my get this value lah. So 5 over 2, 2 and 2 cut, negative 10 plus 5 is negative 5x, and then 2 over 2 is 1 equals 0. Okay. So now you can find your discriminant, your b square minus 4ac. So it will be bracket square minus 4, bracket, bracket. The b is negative 5, the a is 1, the c is 1. So it's 25 minus 4 is 21. This is the answer. Okay. So remember, always read the question and always be aware of what they want. We don't have to do extra things for them, right? They ask for this, then we only do that for them. Okay. But of course, you can find the value of alpha, but you would just be end up wasting your time because you do all that, but you never get any marks also. Because the soalan never asked for it. But it's possible to get the alpha. You just ganti the n2 here to get the alpha. And after you know the alpha, you will know the roots. But they ask for discriminant. That is why I just go straight away for the final answer. All right, let's go to number 5. Diagram 3 shows the graph y equals to 7 minus x squared over 2. Okay, I can see it. And they even label for me nicely. So this is integration. This is definitely from 5, chapter 3. Okay, let's keep reading. And a straight line y equals to p. Where is it? Okay, this one. They even label for me. It means this is p, right? It means this is p. I think we can all agree that this is p. With p is a constant. And then they say calculate value of p. Calculate the value of p if the area of shaded is 2 over 3. So the area of shaded region is equals to 2 over 3, right? So we can see that the shaded region is like this, okay? Okay, first of all, let's find all the important points. What is important point? Important point is the y-intercept, the x-intercept, and also the intersection point. So these are all the important points, and we can find it. How? Okay, do you remember they give us equation of curve? So if you want to find the equation, find this y-intercept, I just ganti x0, right? So what happens when I ganti x0? It will be 7 minus 0 over 2, which is 7 over 2. And then what else we can find? We can also find this point because we know this is a parabola, right? So if this is a parabola and this is the x-intercept, so I can ganti y0. So it will be 0 equals to 7 minus x squared over 2. And then 0 times 2 is 0. 0, so it's 0, 7 minus x squared. And then x squared equals to 7. And then x equals to square root 7. But square root 7 is ugly answer, right? It means that this is square root 7 and this is negative square root 7. Okay. But I will not tekan the square root 7 because it's ugly answer, right? So what else point I can find? This point also I can find because I know the y coordinate is p. I don't know the x coordinate, but I know the y coordinate is p. So the x coordinate will be what? You just take the y equals to p ganti inside here. So it'll be 7 minus p squared over 2. This is also 7 minus p squared over 2. Okay. The reason I can do that is because the other passes through. Okay. But it looks very messy if I write it. So I'll just erase it. Okay. But actually I know this coordinate. Okay. Okay. Now let's do the question. Calculate the value of p if the area of shaded region is 2 over 3. So if, as you can see, this is an integration question, and definitely we will use the integration method to find the area. But I want you to tell me this shaded region, is it floating? Because if it's floating, then I have to take something minus something. But if it's sticking on the axis, then you don't have to take something minus something. So maybe you will tell me it's floating because you saw that, oh, it's floating, it's not sticking on the x-axis. Then maybe some of you will do it like this, where you will take the integrate, you will take integrate curve minus straight line, okay? I won't do it like this, but maybe you will do it like this, right? You integrate curve, which is from here to here, and then minus the rectangle, minus the integrate straight line, okay? Because it's floating, so you take something minus something. Okay, can also, okay, can also. But I won't do that, okay? Because I saw a better way to do this question. And what is the better way? Is to not use x-axis, is to use the y-axis to do. Because if you use the y-axis to do, you don't even need to take something minus something. Okay. Do you remember I told you before, even in previous trial video, I mentioned if they ask to do area integration, you can actually choose the axis. But if it's volume, you cannot choose, right? But area you can choose. And for this, it's better if you choose the y-axis to do. So I will write dy here, and then this will be automatic be x. Okay, but if I choose x-axis, then this will be dx, this will be y. Okay, let me tell you why I choose y-axis. Because do you know that if I choose y-axis, it means this shaded region is sticking on the y-axis, and it's sticking from where to where? From 7 over 2 to p. And we all know 7 over 2 is the bigger value, p is here. And if it's sticking like this, you don't have to take something minus something. Okay, like you just take here to here and integrate the curve. And then later on, the x you can just ganti straight away with the curve equation, but of course you have to pindah first lah. So let's erase this and then try to find x. Try to find x, okay? But it's still wrong, it's still wrong, okay? So you listen to me, finish the whole thing first. So let's find x first. 2 times y is 2y, and then plus 7 pindah jadi minus 7 equals to negative x square. And then x square equals to negative hantar jadi 2y jadi minus 2y, minus 7 jadi 7, and then x equals to square root 7 minus 2y, which is power 1 over 2. So this is my x equation. So the x1, this x whole thing I can masuk here. 7 minus 2y power 1 over 2 equal dy equals to 2 over 3. But there's one more thing we left out here, which is I have to times 2 and then times 2. The reason is because when I find here, I'm only finding half of it. Okay, can you see it? I'm only finding this half only when I integrate the 7 over 2 px dy. I have to times 2 because there's another side here. That's why I times 2. Okay, okay, now we can start to do this. If you keep doing this, we'll get the answer. Right? Okay, so first of all, what I will do is I think I'll pindah the 2 to the other side. So when I pindah the 2 times 2 becomes divide 2. So the 2 over 3 will become 1 over 3 now. And then here you're left with this thing to integrate. And how to integrate this? Well, you can't expand because the power is 1 over 2. So what I will do is I will jadikan this whole thing sebagai A. So it's like you are integrating A power 1 over 2. So it will be A power 1 over 2 plus 1, which is 7 minus 2y. Power have to plus 1, right? So 1 over 2 plus 1, 3 over 2. Bahagi lagi dengan 3 over 2. And don't forget to differentiate bracket sekali lagi. Differentiate 7 is 0. Differentiate negative 2y is negative 2. Close bracket. And then 7 over 2 atas, P bawah. Right? And now you have to gantikan the 7 over 2 inside the y and then P inside the y, right? But I teach, macam mana saya ajar, I cakap dah, jangan ganti dulu. You have to simplify first. Because if you look at dalam, you can do 2 and 2 can cut, left with negative 3, and the negative is up to you, and you can write bawah, atas, or tengah is up to you. Just don't write both atas and bawah. So I choose to write in the middle here, and then 3 over 2, close bracket, 7 over 2, P equals to 1 over 3. Okay, sekarang baru saya ganti the 7 over 2 inside. So what happens when I ganti 7 over 2 inside? So imagine it would be 7 minus 2y, right? And this y I already ganti with 7 over 2. So when I cut, I left with 7 minus 7, which is 0. It means this will be 0. And then 0 power 3 over 2 is still 0. 0 divided 3 is still 0. Negative 0 is still 0. It means what happens when I ganti 7 over 2 inside? I'll just end up with a big fat 0. And then minus with, now I will ganti P inside. Okay, so when I ganti P inside, it will become what? So it will be negative, okay, another negative, and then what? 7 minus 2, and then the y becomes P already, and then close bracket, 3 over 2 over 3. This one I should erase. And then close big bracket equals to 1 over 3. Okay, so this is what I end up with. So this minus come from here. And then this minus come from memang the formula is like that one. Because you ganti this one and have to minus ganti this one, right? That's why I got 2 minus here. So now minus become positive. So it will be 0, tak payah tulis, 0 tak payah tulis, plus with what? Plus with 7 minus 2p power 3 over 2 over 3 equals to 1 over 3. The rest here all hilang already. The reason why is because it's 0 and minus become plus. That's why the negative all hilang already. So now I can just pindah, and then I will get my p. So first I will pindah the 3 first. So when I pindah 3, it becomes times 3. So what is 1 over 3 times 3? It's just 1. And then now I will pindah the power to the other side. So when I pindah the power 3 over 2, it becomes power 2 over 3. Okay, not many people know this, but yeah, you can do that. Okay, so for example, if I say x power 2 is equals to 25, it means x equals to what? 25 power. Okay, this one is 2 over 1, right? So you just pindah, you terbalikkan 1 over 2 like that. Okay, yeah, you can do that. It's like memang boleh buat macam tu. And what is 1 power 2 over 3? Okay, remember 1 power anything is 1. Because 1 is a special number. Doesn't matter 1 power berapa pun, you will still end up with 1. So now negative 2p move here becomes 2p. 7 minus 1 is 6. So p is equals to 3. Right? So that should be the final answer. So number 5, the answer is 3. Let me just check quickly because I don't want to write the wrong answer here. 5 is 3. Yep, correct. Okay, let's continue with question number 6. Okay, let's read the question. A says what? Diagram 4 shows some vectors drawn on a 1 unit sided square grids. So we know this is 1 unit and this is, sorry. So we know this is 1 unit and this is also 1 unit. And then they say given vector Lm is A. Let's see. L to M is A. Okay. And then N to M is B. N to M is B. Yep, they labeled for me already. Expressed in terms of A and B. Okay, this is important because they want my answer in my jawapan need to have A and B in my answer. So question 1, they want to find Ln. So let's do it here. So vector Ln, let's find where is Ln. So if you look carefully, the Ln is where? Is here to here, right? So if I want to find vector Ln, it's actually just what? It's actually just L to M plus M to N, right? Because they want your answer in terms of A and B. So you just jalan here lah, Lm, Mn, then that's the answer already. And what is vector Lm? It's A, right? And then what's vector Mn? Negative B. Because B is going down. I want to go up. So tukar tanda. So that's the answer. Okay, let's go with question 2. Question 2, they want to find vector MP. Okay, MP. So let's look at where is M and where is P. So MP is here, right? So M to P. So they want me to find this vector, right? This vector. Not like this, the arrow. It's going towards P. So how to find this vector? Okay, first of all, they want the answer in terms of A and B. So you cannot tell me the answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can't tell me the answer is negative 10i plus 0j. You can't tell me that because if you do like this is coordinate vector, and also they already say the answer need to have A and B. So if you do like this, it's wrong. Okay, because they don't want the answer in terms of I and J. So this is wrong. They want in terms of A and B. So I can think about two methods to do this question. The first method is you go to M and then you start to guess lah. How many vector A, how many times I have to do the vector A and how many times I have to do vector B so that I can sampai P. And I have to start from M. So for example, let's say I start with the vector A, which is like this, right? And it's 1 year naik 3. So 1 year naik 3. So it's 1, 2, 3. So like this is one vector A. And then you try to do maybe again vector A. So like 1 and then 1, 2, 3, and then you try to guess like that. Okay. And then you try to do B, but B is going down like that, right? So why not I go up like this? So it's 1, 2. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 1, right? So 1, 2, 1. So you try to guess like that lah. Okay. Or you realize it doesn't work, then you erase everything and then you go to the opposite direction. Maybe it's not supposed to go up, it's supposed to go down, right? So maybe you go negative A, like this, negative A. And then after you do negative A, you do negative A again. And then you go and do negative B, which is going like this. Because B is like this, right? And then you do negative B again. And you can see it's like, can also lah. You can also get the answer like this, but it's very slow and it's not a reliable method, right? So I have another method that I want to share to you, okay? And this is the method I prefer also, okay? And also for weak students, they can't imagine it, like, right? So you can do like this. So what I will do is I will change everything to coordinate vector, okay? First of all, I will change A to coordinate vector, I will change B to coordinate vector, and also the MP change to coordinate vector. So if you look at vector A is what? It's actually 1 ke kiri and then 1, 2, 3 ke atas. So it's negative 1i plus 3j, or you can also write it negative 1, 3 in bracket like this. Okay, negative because it's going to the left. Okay, and then 3 is positive because going up. So now what about vector B? So vector B is what? It's starting from here and then go 2 ke kanan and then 1 ke bawah. So 2 kanan, 1 bawah. So it's actually 2i minus 1j, or it's 2 negative 1 like this. Actually, you want to write 2i minus 1j also, no problem. It's the same thing. And now for vector MP, which is the final answer. They want MP, right? So what is MP? It's just going to the left. How many kotak? Negative 10. I already count just now. So it's negative 10i, but there's no pergerakan atas bawah. That's why it's 0. It means negative 10i plus 0j. Just because it's just moving to the left. So after I convert everything to coordinate vector, now I start to do. Okay, and this is how you do it. I will write vector MP equals to mu A plus lambda B. Let me explain. Let me explain. Because they want to answer in terms of A and B. That's why you cannot stop here. Because if you stop here, then it will be negative 10i plus 0j. And the answer is not in terms of A and B already. That is why if the answer they want in terms of A and B, it must look like this. MP equals to something A plus something B. And this something something, even though we don't know, but I can let the unknown represent. I let the mu represent this number and let the lambda. But of course, you can use other symbol as well, like alpha, beta, or you want to use alphabet also can, like CD or XY or whatever. But I end up using mu and lambda. And now my job is to find mu and lambda, because if I know mu and lambda, then I know the vector MP. Because if I know this number, then I know the answer already. So how to find? Convert everything to coordinate vector. MP is negative 10, 0, or you can also say negative 10i plus 0j equals to mu A, and the A is negative 1, 3 plus lambda B, and the B is 2, negative 1. Okay, now I will darat masuk. So it will be negative 10, 0 equals to darat masuk. It will be mu times negative 1, which is negative mu. And then later, after you times, you will tambah atas dengan atas. So it will be plus with lambda times 2, which is 2 lambda. Same here, mu times 3 is 3 mu. And then later you will take bawah, tambah bawah, which is lambda times negative 1, which is negative lambda. Now you can compare. Ataupun you can take atas sama dengan atas, bawah sama dengan bawah. So negative 10 equals to negative mu plus 2 lambda. And then the other one is what? The other one is 0 equals to 3 mu minus lambda. So we have one equation here and two equation here. Now we can do simultaneous. So how to do simultaneous? I can transfer this equation down here, but before I transfer, I will take everything times 2. So 0 times 2, 0. 3 mu times 2, 6 mu. Negative lambda times 2, negative 2 lambda. Why? Why I take everything times 2? So that this becomes 2 lambda, and then the 2 lambda, I can hapuskan by plus. Why plus? Because the tanda is different. If the tanda is same, then you have to minus to hapuskan. But if it's plus minus, then you have to plus. Okay, let's try. Negative 10 plus 0, negative 10. Negative mu plus 6 means negative 1 plus 6. I think it's 5. So positive 5 mu. And then 2 lambda minus 2 lambda plus minus is minus. So 2 lambda minus 2 lambda is 0. But if I put a minus here, then this will not be 0 already. It will be like 4 lambda already, which is wrong. Yeah. So mu, finally, I got my answer is negative 2 mu. Okay, but I still need the lambda, so what I will do it here. So I will ganti the mu negative 2 inside this equation. So I will put arrow here, 0 equals to 3 mu minus lambda, and the mu I know is negative 2. So now the negative lambda I can move to the other side. Now it becomes positive after I move it here. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Okay, so now I get my answer already. Dot, dot, dot. I will tengok balik this baris. Vector MP equals to what? Mu A plus lambda B, right? But I know mu is negative 2 mu already. Okay, and then plus lambda B, but the lambda is negative 6. So it's negative 2A. Okay, this one is select already. It's negative 2A, not negative 2 mu, negative 2A plus minus 6B. Okay, so this is your final answer. All right, they ask for in terms of A and B, right? That's how you do it. It means if I want to go from M to P, I need to go negative 2A and then minus 1B, minus 2B, minus 3B, 4, 5, 6, and then baru sampai here. Okay, but I never use this method to explain, right? Because it's way too like can also lah, can also, but you need to, how to say, you need to guess like that, and that's why I don't like. Okay, but both method will give you the same answer. Okay, hope you understand. Okay, soalan B. They give you point P and point Q lie on the Cartesian plan, and it is given that 3OP minus OR 4OQ, find coordinate of R. So if they say point P is negative 3, negative 2, you need to know that it means that vector OP is negative 3, negative 2. Okay, and if they say that point Q is negative 1, 1, means OQ is what? Negative 1, 1. Okay, it means negative 1i plus 1j. That's what it means. Okay, because O is the origin. So if I say the point P is negative 3, negative 2, means from the origin to P, it's going 3 ke kiri and then 2 ke bawah, negative 3, negative 3i minus 2j, like that. So now they say what? Question 1, they say 3 times OP minus OR equals to 4OQ. And the soalan pertama, they ask you to find coordinate of R. Means you have to find vector OR first lah. Because once you get the vector OR, then you can know the coordinate of R. And how to find OR? Ganti this one and ganti yang belakang. Because OP I already know is -3, -2. OQ I already know is -1, 1. Of course, there's another method to do this question also. Okay? And you can go ahead if you want to use the other method. You will get the same answer. 3 times -3 is -9. 3 times -2, -6. Why not I just darab masuk 4 times -1 is -4. So this will be -4, 4, right? But why not I just move to this side? It becomes minus -4, 4. And then this whole thing I will just erase because I pindah here already. And then pindah the OR jadi positive like this. So it'll be OR equals to atas tolak atas, bawah tolak bawah. Okay, -9 plus 4, -5, -6 minus 4, -10. So if OR is -5i minus 10j, it means the R coordinate is what? The R coordinate is -5, -10. Okay, all of this is under coordinate vector. Okay, this whole question is under coordinate vector. Okay, okay. Soalan number 2 wants you to find magnitude. So I think I'll just do it here lah. So how to find magnitude of QR? First, you need vector QR first, and it has to be in terms of ij. Okay, because I is for pergerakan kiri kanan, j is for pergerakan atas bawah. Then only you can find the magnitude by taking square root the number square. Okay, do I have vector QR? So far, I don't have, but it's okay because I have the coordinate of Q and I also have the coordinate of R. So coordinate of Q is -1, 1. Coordinate R is -5, 10, -10. So if I want the vector QR in terms of ij, I just have to take R punya coordinate minus Q punya coordinate. Bukan Q tolak R, have to be R tolak Q because the starting is Q, the ending is R. So you must take R coordinate minus Q coordinate. So it will be -5 minus -1 and -10 minus 1. Okay, always put X tolak X atas. Okay, because atas is for the number in front of I. So -5 plus 1, -4. So it will be -4i minus 11j. That's what it means. It means if I want to go from Q to R, I have to go to the left, ke kiri 4, and then ke bawah 11 to sampai here. So now I can find the magnitude of QR, which is square root, bracket square plus bracket square, -4 here, -11 here. So let's press 4 squared is 16 plus 1 to 1 equals square root answer. So I got the answer, square root 137, right? So let's check with the schema. 5, -2. Okay, the schema give different, but I think I did everything correctly. Okay. It's okay. If there's any correction, I will just type in the description to let you know. But the schema, I know the schema give different, right? -5, -10. But this is the second time I'm doing it already. So I also when the first time I do, I also get this. Okay, so maybe I think the schema salah already. Okay, so I think I got this, but it's okay. If there's any correction, I will type in the description. Okay, so I will just leave it at that, and I will jump to next question. All right. Okay, question 7. This is obviously what chapter? I also don't know actually. I have to read the question first. Okay. So we have a very weird looking graph here, but it's fine. Let's read. Diagram 5 shows a partial sketch of this graph. Oh my God, look at this equation. It's so disgusting. Fx equals to what? X plus 3 over, oh my God, x squared minus 7x plus 12. So this graph is the lukisan for this equation. And then find the value of A and B. Oh, wait, okay, first of all, where's A, where's B? So, oh, it's here, A and B. Okay, I hope none of you do this. I hope none of you go and ganti y equals 0. It means you go and ganti fx equals 0 because you thought you are finding the x-intercept. Okay, salah. Why salah? Because A and B is not even the x-intercept. Look at this. The curve is this. This is the curve. This is the graph. Is A and B the x-intercept? I don't think so because yeah, it's not the x-intercept because the curve never even touches A and B. Okay, but we do know that the A, there's a dotted line at here and dotted line at here. And if you remember clearly, even in tangent graph also have this case like this, right? In tangent graph. And why they put the dotted line here is because what? It's because it's undefined here. It's infinity here, remember? Because this line and this line cannot touch, This also cannot touch, cannot touch, cannot touch. It means it will just these two lines will keep getting closer, but they will never touch. It means it will go up to positive infinity, and this will go down to negative infinity. It means A and B is the value where it will make this function undefined. It will make this case have no answer. So if I want to make this no answer, what I do is I'll just take the denominator equals 0. So x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. Okay, because if the denominator equals 0, that's when it will be undefined. That's when they will have no answer. So let's press calculator and see what I get. Bracket, bracket. So mod and then degree 2. Okay, wait for me. The A is 1, the B is -7, C is 12. So I got 4 and 3, and both positive. So 4 and 3. It means this I have to cut under x minus 4, x minus 3. So obviously the A must be the smaller number. A must be 3, and then B must be 4. Because A is lebih depan, right? So this is 3, this is 4. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, so remember for undefined case, you don't have to worry about the atas punya. Just worry about bawah. Bawah tak boleh equals 0. Because bawah equals 0, you get infinity, math error. Okay, for soalan B, given f inverse is this, if fm2, find the value of m. Okay, there's a few methods that I can think of to do this question. Banyak cara untuk buat, but I will do it like this. X over x plus 3, the f inverse actually you can pindah to the other side. F inverse, when you pindah, it become f. Okay, like this. Okay, then maybe some of you will say, hey, can pindah like this? Yeah, lah, can. Okay, even in class also, I teach a lot of times already. Even when you're finding inverse, how you define inverse? Let k inverse x equals to a. And then I mentioned that the k inverse can pindah, and after you pindah, it becomes ka like this, right? Okay, let's erase this. So if you can pindah the k inverse, jadi k means you can pindah the f inverse to the other side, jadi f lah. Okay, let's rewrite f x plus 1, x plus 2, or x over x plus 3 like this. But don't forget there's another information, fm equals to 2, so comma, fm equals to 2. Okay, now using these two information, we have to find the value of m. Okay, how to do? First of all, okay, I can see that I already stuck here. Why? I cannot do anything already. And this is function f, but this is fm. But this one is f x plus 1 or x plus 2. So I need fx. I need fx. No matter what, I need fx. I don't want fx plus 1, x plus 2. I need the fx. So what I have to do is, since I stuck here already, and I cannot just change this to m, by the way, like cannot. Because if I change this to m, it means I'm changing x plus 1 over x plus 2 equals to m. And there's no x plus 1 or x plus 2 on this side. So it means I need fx lah. You faham maksud saya? It means I need fx. No matter what, I need fx. Okay? Not this. So it means I got stuck here already. So the moment you get stuck in function, this is what you do. You let y equals to bracket. So let y equals to bracket and then cari x. Okay. And you actually learn this also. Okay. Maybe you forgot already, but yeah. So you let y equals bracket and cari x. How to cari x? So we already let y equals to this bracket, which is x plus 1 or x plus 2, and you try to pindah to find x. Y times x is xy, and then plus with 2y equals to x plus 1. And I want to find x, so x dengan x letak sekali, xy minus x equals to 1 minus 2y. Factorize x, it will be y minus 1 equals to 1 minus 2y, and then x equals to 1 minus 2y over y minus 1. So x equals to what? 1 minus 2y over y minus 1. Now we rewrite this equation, but this time I'll write fy, because I already let y equals bracket, equals to x bahagi x plus 3. X bahagi x plus 3. And then the x I'll change to 1 minus 2y over y minus 1. And then x here also change to 1 minus 2y over y minus 1. So continue. Fy equals to 1 minus 2y over y. Don't forget, I'm trying to find fx. But I find fy first lah. Then later I just change it to x. Okay, divide what? Okay, this one you can change to single fraction. Y minus 2y. The 3 I will times with y minus 1. It will be 3y minus 3 like this. Okay, and once you do that, you can just become single fraction like this. Okay, so now it will be 1 minus 2y over y minus 1. Divide can jadi times, and then this one terbalik already, right? They switch place. So y minus 1 duduk atas, and then bawah left with negative 2y plus 3y, which is 1y, 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. And then cut, you're left with 1 minus 2y over y minus 2. So now this is fy, but I want fx. So fx equals to what? 1 minus 2x over x minus 2. But x cannot equals to 2 lah, because if x equals to 2, the whole thing will be math error. But of course, this is not the final answer yet, because remember they want to find the value of m. This is when we use this information, Fm equals to 2. So let's go back down here. So Fm equals to 2, right? It means the 2, I will leave it, but the Fm, I will use the Fx to help me. So we all know function F, so they are the same family. Means I can write this here. So I will write 1 minus 2x over x minus 2. But be careful, because I have to change the x to m. Because I don't want fx, I want the fm. So x have to change to m, means the x also have to change to m, change to m. So it will be 1 minus 2m equals to 2 times m is 2m. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. 2 plus 2 is 4m. Minus 4 jadi plus 4, 5. So m is 5 over 4, right? That's the answer for question number 7, right? Okay, let's continue with question 8. Okay, number 8. This is coordinate geometry. I think so, because you see coordinate, right? Diagram 6 shows the position of 3 houses drawn on the Cartesian plan. Zuleika house, Shanti house, Aina house. But we know Shanti coordinate is negative 10, 3. So far, that's the information I know. Let's read here. A straight road with an equation of y minus 2x plus 7 equals 0 will be built to connect Zuleika's house and Aina's house. Zuleika's house and Aina's house, the road connecting it, which is these dotted lines, the equation is y equals 2x minus 7. I straight away change to gradient form already, because I mean linear form, because I already know this is the equation will tell me the gradient, and if I change to linear form, I can get the gradient and y-intercept. So I know now the gradient of this line is 2 and the y-intercept is negative 7. Okay, and then let's keep reading. Another straight road, another straight road will be built to connect Shanti house and Aina house. So let's draw the road. Who house? Shanti and Aina. So Shanti and, oh, this is not Aina. That's like Aina, this one. Okay, so another road. This is the other road they're talking about. And they say the two roads are perpendicular to each other, and these two roads they meet at the Aina house. Yeah lah, these two roads they memang jumpa dekat they meet here, and they say they are perpendicular. So I should put 90 degree here. It means what is the gradient of this line? Negative 1 over 2 lah. How I know? Is because I got label. I know the gradient of this line is 2 just now. But if I don't label this, then I will not know this information. The reason I know this is because I got label. So the gradient is 2. Now I terbalik tukar tanda, I get this. Okay, now I can find find the equation of straight road AB. So AB, but they want to find equation. So find equation, definitely this formula. Y minus y1 equals to gradient x minus x1. And I have the gradient already. And I also have a point yang ada passes through. It means I can straight away use the formula already. I don't have to find it. But let's write for them lah how I get this gradient. So how I get it just now? First of all, gradient AC is 2. AC is 2. But I want AB, right? So the AB would be negative 1 over 2, because this they are perpendicular. Then now I use the formula y minus 3 equals to negative 1 over 2 x minus negative 10, which is x plus 10. So now will be y minus 3 equals to negative 1 over 2x minus 5, y equals to negative 1 over 2x minus 8. Right? Done. Okay, let's go to B. B, what they want? Find the coordinates of Aina's house. Let's see where's Aina's. Okay, this is Aina's house. So they want you to find this coordinate, which I don't know lah. It's xy. I don't know. I don't know the x coordinate. I also don't know the y coordinate. But it's okay, because Aina, this point A is the intersection point of these two lines. And I have the equation of these two lines. This line equation is 2x minus 7. And this line equation, I just found it just now. The AB, this one. So if I want to find this coordinate, I just take this equation, do simultaneous. Ataupun you can say gabungkan lah. Okay. So how you want to gabungkan? Okay, I think I will erase here. So the equation that I have to gabung is y equals 2x minus 7. So the B, I will do it here. So what you do is you write y equals to y, because they are both single y, single unknown already, and use penggantian punya cara. So 2x minus 7 terus equals to negative 1 over 2x minus 8. Now negative 8 plus 7 is negative 1. And then minus 1 over 2 jadi plus 1 over 2. 2 plus 1 over 2 is 5 over 2x. And then x equals to negative 2 over 5. But I still need to find y. So let's ganti into this equation. Actually, this also can. But I ganti this one. Y equals to 2 bracket minus 7. Here is negative 2 over 5. So equals to negative 4 over 5 minus 7. Let's press. What is negative 4 over 5 plus 7? So it's 31 over 5. Okay. So the Aina coordinates, the Aina house, Aina is negative 205, comma 3105. But I'm not sure if I do everything correctly. So let me quickly just check with the schema. Oh, it's not correct. Okay, did I do some mistake here? Let's think about this. Okay, negative. Oh, sorry. I made a mistake here. Okay, sorry. So this is negative 5, right? Minus 3 become plus 3. What is negative 5 plus 3? Negative 2. So this is the equation. So I should write negative 1 over 2x minus 2 here. Okay. Okay, so salah already. Let's just change everything. Okay, so this should be 1 over 2x minus 2. And then this is betul already. So 2 plus 1 over 2 is 5 over 2, but negative 7 pindah jadi plus 7. So negative 2 plus 7 is 5. So x equal to 5. Divide 2 jadi times 2. Darab 5 jadi bahagi 5. Potong-potong. X equals to 2. And then y equals to 2x minus 7. So 2 times 2 minus 7 is 4 minus 7, negative 3. So the Aina house should be 2, negative 3. Okay. Sorry, I made a small mistake just now. So, okay. This is negative 2 lah. Okay. All right. That's how you do it. Now let's go to question number 9. Okay, let's scroll down a bit. Okay, number 9. Okay, there are first three rectangles where the first rectangle is x cm long and y cm wide. Okay, let's draw it out then. So we have first rectangle, the length is x, the width ataupun the width, the width is y. And then they say the measurement of the length and the width of each subsequent means the next one. The length and width of the next rectangle are half the measurement of its previous one. Definitely progression. This is definitely progression based on it. Okay, because just because they say subsequent, okay, and they say half of it, right? So the rectangle will be smaller lah, definitely, and the x will be x over 2, the y will be y over 2 because half of the measurement, and then the next rectangle even smaller, and this will be x over 4, y over 4, and then the next one will be x over 8, y over 8. Means every time you divide 2 lah. Okay, A says what? Show that the area of rectangle form a geometric progression and state the common ratio. Okay, let me tell you a common misconception. A lot of students think if the length is half and the width is half, then the area is also half. It's not correct. Because the length is half, the width is also half, but the area will be 4 times smaller. Not 2 times smaller, but 4 times smaller. Because all the size is getting half, means like 2 times smaller, right? That's why it's smaller. But the area will get 4 times smaller. Because according to the formula you learn in mathematics progression, area of image is equals to k square times area object. Okay, there's a square here. Okay, but it's okay. Later, after I do A, you will understand why is it 4 times. So A, they say, right, show that the area form a geometric progression, right? So I'll write area here, and I'll start writing the area of the first rectangle, which is xy. And then the second rectangle area will be x over 2 times y over 2, which is xy over 4. Because atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. The third rectangle would be x over 4 times y over 4, which is xy over 16. Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. And it keeps going. But they want you to show that this is a geometric progression. So how you want to show? You take T3 divide T2, and then you take T2 divide T1. And if they give you the same value, means it's a geometric lah. That's how you show them. Okay, so let's show them. So what is T3 divide T2? Xy over 16 dy xy over 4. And then what is T2 divide T1? Xy over 4 divide xy. So let's see whether they give you the same answer, because if it's a geometric progression, it means that here to here and here to here, they will have to multiply by the same number if it's a geometric. That is why I take T3 divide T2 and take T2 divide T1 to see whether they give you the same value. Xy over 16 divide can jadi times, this will switch place. 4 atas, xy bawah. Cut 1 over 4. What about here? Xy over 4, okay, divide xy is actually times 1 over xy, cut 1 over 4. Can you see this value and this value is same? So we can say that it's a geometric progression lah. So since T3 divide T2, okay, sorry, T3 divide T2 is exactly same value as T2 divide T1, the area of rectangle, form a geometric progression. Okay, geometric progression. But I think the soalan tak ada stop dekat situ. They still want you to do something, right? Show that the area of rectangle form a geometric progression and also state the common ratio. So I should write and the R equals to 1/4. Then you get full mark already. Because common ratio means R, right? And the R formula is taking T2 divided T1 or T3 divided T2, which is 1/4. That's why in the beginning I said the area will get 4 times smaller, not 2 times smaller. So hope you understand. Okay, let's go to B now. Okay, does B have any connection to A? Let's read. Given that X is 160, Y is 80. Okay, this is definitely still talking about the same story. So if X is 160, Y 80, this is very useful because I know the first area will be what? 160 times 80 already. And then I know the second rectangle punya area will be 160 darab 80 over 4. And then the third rectangle will be 160 times 80, okay, because X times Y over 16. And it keeps going. So let's press and see what I get. 160 times 80, 12800. And the unit will be cm square, right? Yeah, it will be cm square. And then this one will be divide 4, 3200. Okay. And then this will be 800. Okay. Wait, let me press 160. Yeah. Okay, and we all know this is a geometric progression. The A is 12800 and the R is 1/4. Because every time you divide 4, divide 4. Okay, now let's read what they want. Determine the nth rectangle which has an area of 25,512 cm square. It means it will keep getting smaller and smaller, 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 smaller. And eventually it will reach one of the rectangle will have this area 25,512 cm square. And what they are asking is which triangle? Means T ke berapa? This is T1, this is T2, this is T3. But this T ke berapa, Tn is equals to this. And I need to find n. So I just write Tn equals to 25/512 and use the Tn formula. Do you know what's the Tn formula? AR power n minus 1. For geometric, this is the formula. So A is 1. By the way, this formula is given in the exam. Okay, 12800 times R is 1/4 power n minus 1 equals to 25 power 512. Okay, and you might need to tambah log later. If you can't change the same base, then you will have to tambah log. But if you can change the same base, you change the same base. Okay, first I want to find n, right? So of course I will make this n single. It means I will pindah the 12800 to the other side. So I will press 25 divide 512 divide 12800 in my calculator. I will get 1/262144. 1/262144. So now I can see that I end up here, right? But I don't know whether the 4 and the 262144 can change to same base or not. Maybe they can, maybe they cannot. It's hard to tell because this is a very big number. So what I will do is I will use the tambah log punya cara. Okay, so this is my plan. I will use the tambah log punya cara, and if I end up with an ugly answer, I will keep everything. I will maintain everything. But if I get a nice answer, then I will erase all of this and change the working. Because if I get a nice answer means I'm using the wrong method already. Okay, but let's try. Okay, let's try. Okay, so log, tambah log, both sides. 1/4. The n minus 1 can letak depan. And then here will be log 10. And then 1/262144. Okay, so n minus 1 equals to, I will tekan log 1/262144 divide log 1/4. Press. Okay, I will just tekan log answer lah because my calculator is still on that value. So log answer divide log 10 1/4. Okay, I got 9. So if the n minus 1 is 9, means n equals to 10. It means this is not the ugly answer. It means I'm using the wrong method already because it means that this 4 and this can change to same base actually. Okay. It means you don't have to tambah log for this question. So I will erase everything now and just change lah. So 1/4 n minus 1 equals to 1/4 power 9. Okay. And how I know it's power 9 because I tried with the tambah log method just now already. But of course, if you don't believe me, you just tekan 4 power 9 and you see you get 262144, right? You don't even have to tekan the 1 because 1 power anything is 1 1. So 1 power 9, of course, you will get atas. But the problem is 4 power 9. So 4 power 9, I try already, you get this. So base sudah sama. Now I can take the power equals, so n equals to 10. Right? So what the soalan ask? Which area? This one. The answer is 10. Means the 10th rectangle will have this area. So let's write it for them. Dot 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 the 10th one, the 10th rectangle. Okay. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, let me just check quickly with the schema in case I made some silly mistake. Okay, yep, it's correct. Okay, let's go to question number 10. Okay, this is obviously indices, surd, and logarithm punya chapter. Okay, given that this one and then this one, okay, let's write it down. I'm sure it was useful. Log A P square Q equals to H. Okay, you need to know something. It's a times relation here. And even if you don't see it, actually there's a bracket here. And then this one is log A Q over P power 3 equals K. Okay. And then they want you to express this one. Okay, let's write here log A P over Q, but they say in terms of H and K. It means I have to try my best to change this supaya the final answer will be my final answer kena ada H and K lah. But how to how to change this supaya saya punya jawapan ada H and K? It means I have to try my best to use these two information lah, because only these two information have H and K. So what I will do first is check the base. So this is log base A, this is log base A. The one I find also log base A. So the base is num already. So I don't have to change base. But the problem is I have to try my best to change this to log A P square Q ataupun log A Q over P power 3. Because if I can manage to change this to log A P square Q ataupun log A Q over P3, then I can straight away ganti with H and K. But the problem is it's very difficult. It's very difficult to change this to log A P square Q. It's very difficult. So what I will do is I will need to make this simple, make this more simple. And how I'll do that is, since this is single log times, I will separate it into separate log plus. So it'll be log A, P, kuasa 2, the 2 I can put in front. And since this is times, so it becomes plus log A Q equals to H. And I will do the same to the other equation. Single log divide, single log divide, single log divide, separate log minus. So log AQ minus 3 comes from the power, and then log AP equals to K. And after I do this, I realize that this looks like a simultaneous. Log AP, log AQ, log AQ, log AP, but it's not so nicely, right? So let's so nicely. The negative 3 I put in front. And then only I write this plus log AQ equals to K. And then I can just transfer this equation down here. So it'll be 2 log AP plus log AQ equals to H. And straight away, I can do simultaneous. I can do penghapusan straight away, because this one and this one is same already. So you just minus them. Not plus, minus. Because the tanda sama, right? So negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5 log AP. And then this one minus hilang already. And then K minus H. Just write K minus H. Okay. And then I can get my log A base P, right? Which is K minus H over negative 5. Did I do it correctly? Yeah. K minus H over negative 5. But you can also write this as H minus K over 5. The reason is because the negative you can tulis bawah, but you can also write atas man. Okay, I mentioned many times already. The negative you can write in the middle also, like this. So if you write in the middle, you will darab atas, so it will be negative K plus H over 5, which is same with H minus K over 5. See, it's the same. Okay, but I will erase this. Okay, let's erase. It means that after you get this, if you don't like, you can tukar tanda. Like all the tiga ketol all tukar tanda. Plus K jadi minus K, minus H jadi plus H, minus jadi plus. Okay. Okay, I still have to ganti masuk here. 2 times log AP, which is H minus K over 5. And now I have to focus on finding log QA. So equals to H. So now how to find is like I darab masuk lah. So 2H minus 2K over 5 plus log AQ equals to H. So log AQ equals to H minus this whole thing, right? So minus bracket 2H minus 2K over 5. So log AQ equals to H. I think I have to times 5 first, right? So 5H and then baru minus 2H plus 2K over 5. And then you will end up with 5H minus 2H, which is 3H plus 2K over 5. So that's the log AQ. Okay, now I have log AQ and log PQ. I think I can do this question now. Now it looks more simple to do compared to just now, because just now this is like so hard to change. But now changing this to log AP, log AQ is much more easier. So now I can do, but first I can see that this is single log divide. So single log divide, separate log minus. So log AP minus log AQ. And then now I can just bracket. Log AP is this H minus K over 5. And then log AQ is this 3H plus 2K over 5. And now I can start, and since they have the same denominator, I can combine them into one because the Bambao already same, and then it will be H minus K minus bracket 3H plus 2K. The other bracket salah. Because if you don't put the bracket, you thought it's a plus, but it's actually minus. So H minus K, open the bracket, minus 3H plus 2K become minus 2K over 5. Final answer, H minus 3 is negative 2H, negative 1 minus 2 is negative 3K over 5. All right, so that's the answer. Because they want in terms of H and K, right? So that's the answer. Okay, let's check with the schema quickly. Yep, betul. Okay, let's go. 11. So given that soalan A, N C R square plus 2R equals to 1. Find the value of R. Okay, there's few things you need to know for this. Okay, this is definitely from 5 punya chapter. It's under P and C punya chapter, permutation and combination. So under combination, you need to know if NCN is equals to 1 and also NC0 is also equals to 1. Okay, it means doesn't matter if I ask you what is 7C7 is 1. What is 8C8? 1. What is 100C100 is 1. And also one more thing is anything C0 is also 1. So if I ask you 5C0, 1, 4C0, 1, 9C0, 1, and so on. So if I say NC, this one is 1, then this must be 0 then. R squared plus 2R must equals to 0. But you can also say R squared plus 2R equals to N, you know. Because according to this rule, if this number and this number same, they equals to 1. But if I do like this, I can't find the value of R. So I will ignore, I will, how to say, give up on this option. I will go with this. Because if I do like this, unless the soalan says express R in terms of N, then maybe I will do like this. Or like N in terms of R, then maybe I will do like this, right? But they want you to find a value of R. So I think if I want to find value of R, I have to assume that this is 0, then only I can find value of R, right? Because if I do the other way, that you will end up with 2 unknowns. Okay, so R I can factorize. This one will be R plus 2 equals 0. And actually there's a bracket here. So what you do is you take the first bracket equals 0, and then second bracket equals 0. R plus 2 also equals 0. So R is equals to negative 2. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, let's go to soalan B. Okay, do I have to reject one of these answer? Okay, let's try. R squared plus 2R. So NC R squared plus 2R. What if it's a 0? So 0 squared plus 2 times 0. So it'll be NC0. So a 0 is one of the option, but negative also can, you know, because negative 2, if the R is negative 2, then it will be what? R squared plus 2R. So it'll be negative 2 squared plus 2 times negative 2, which is 4, which is 2, NC2. So it's also possible. So I think both answer also acceptable. Okay. Yeah. Unless it's negative. If the whole thing is negative, then I have to reject the answer. But even though this is negative, but when you ganti, you get positive in the end. So I think I'll just leave both answer here. Okay, soalan B. So we have magician, Magicians. How many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 letters. So B says if a 5-letter code is to be formed using 5 using 5 only. So it means from 9, I only choose 5 to form a code. But we all know when we are forming a code, the order is important. So it should be permutation. So this is the answer. If they say no condition. Okay. So if a 5-letter code is to be formed using 5 of these cards, find the possible number of codes that can be formed. So the answer will be 9P5. But wait. If you look carefully at this word, there is some repetition. Did you see some repeating letters? So what are the repeating letters? A, okay, and then what else? G, there's no repeat. I, there is repeating letters, okay. And do you remember in class, if there's a repeating letter, what I should do? I should divide, right? It should be divide by A factorial, B factorial, C factorial, and so on. And the A, B, C stands for the number of repeating letters. So A repeat 2 times, so 2 factorial, and then divide. I also repeat 2 times, so 2 factorial like this. So this is your final answer. So 9P5, I have to divide 2P2 and then divide 2P2 again. So the answer is 3780. Okay, So that's the answer. Okay, that's all. Number 12. Okay, so this is the last question in section A. Then we will move to section B. Okay, number 12. In a shooting competition, it was found that a participant had good shooting ability with 95% of his shots hitting the target. I think this is probability distribution. Okay, probability distribution. I think it's from 5, right? From 5? Yeah, from 5 MS. Okay. Okay, in a shooting competition, the probability of him hitting the target is 0.95. So probability of hitting is 0.95. So we know probability of missing will be 0.05. But I still don't know whether this is which one is the P, which one is the Q. I still don't know which one is success, which one is failure. I have to read until the last baris baru saya tahu. So A says what? If the shooter fires 100 shots, so this is definitely the N lah. So the N is 100. But I still don't know my PQ. They say what? Find the standard deviation. Okay, standard deviation formula is NPQ, square root NPQ. Okay, and then they say standard deviation of the number of hits that hit the target. So it means hit is what? Hit is considered success. So the probability of success will be probability of hitting 0.95, and then the Q will be 0.05. Okay, if you want to know who sample success, you have to read the last word. Yeah? Okay, so what's the formula? Square root 100 times 0.95 times 0.05. This is under binomial distribution. Okay, binomial distribution in form 5 MS chapter. Square root 100 times 0.95 times 0.05. Okay, 2.179. So the answer is 2.179. That's all. Done. Soalan B. Find the number of shots fired by the contestant, means want to find N. Okay? If the probability of missing once is the same as probability of missing twice. So this is also under binomial distribution. It means you don't need to use the jadwal, the Z value table, the other one. That one is normal distribution. When you see the word normal, then only it's that type of question. This type is just, it's not even about that. It's not about the Z value one. No need to use the Z table one. This one is all binomial. But you will be using this formula, the NCX, P power X. This you'll be using this formula. Okay. Okay, let's read again. Find the N if the probability of missing once is the same as probability of missing twice. So what I'll do is I'll write, it means missing will be the probability of success already. It means my P is no longer 0.95, it will be 0.05 for when I'm doing B lah. My P will be 0.05 and my Q will be 0.95. Only for this moment. Only for this moment. Only for when I'm doing B. Because B, they say actually probability of missing is the success. And now they say probability of missing once means Px equals 1 is equals to probability of missing twice. So Px equals 2 lah. Okay, and I make the missing probability is probably, I make the probability of success missing already. So that's how you do it. Now I will use the formula NC1 bracket, here write P, here write Q, and my P will be 0.05. The missing punya probability, this will be 0.95. Sini 1, sini pun 1, and then N tolak 1 is N minus 1. Let's go other side. Px equals 2. So NC2 bracket, sini 0.05, sini 0.95, sini 2, sini pun 2, sini N, sini 2, sini N minus 2. Okay, NC1 is N, because if you remember, I explained earlier already in question number 11. Did you see? NC0 is 1, N is 1. Oh, I never, okay. I never explained it here. Actually got one more. If NC1 is equals to N, okay. I missed out this one. Because for this question, I don't even need to, this is not relevant, the 11A, that's why I never mentioned it, okay. But I mentioned it now lah, okay. NC1 is N. So if I ask you 8C1, it will be 8, 9C1, it will be 9, 10C1, it will be 10, okay. You can try with your calculator. Okay, let's go back here. So, okay. So let's continue here. So NC1 is N, 0.05 times 0. Okay, I think you can cut, right? Because this one you can move there, become divide. So it will be N equals the NC2 I will follow, and then the 0.05 power 2, I will move this one to there, become divide 0.05 power 1. The power 1 tak payah tulis pun tak apa. And then times again with 0.95 power N minus 2 divide by 0.95. This one also move there, become power N minus 1. Like this, right? And then I can cut. So end up with N equals to NC2 times with 0.05 times with, okay, base sama bahagi. So if base sama bahagi, the both base is 0.95, then the power have to minus. So n minus 2 minus bracket n minus 1. And you have to open the bracket, so it'll be minus n plus 1. So let's just write that, minus n plus 1. And then n minus n is 0, negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So n equals to nc2 times with 0.05, and then times with 0.95 power negative 1, because negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So we all know that 0.95 times power negative 1 is actually what? Is actually 1 over 0.95, because power negative 1, you can, if I say 3 power negative 1, sorry, yeah, if I say 3 power negative 1, it's actually 1 over 3, right? So 4 power negative 1 is 1 over 4. So if it's 0.95 power negative 1, then it's like this, okay? So now it would be n equals to nc2, and I can press this in my calculator. Okay, press this whole thing. Just tekan 0.05 bahagi 0.95. So 1 over, oh my god, did I do something wrong again? 0.05 divide 0.95. 1 over 19. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe that's just how it is. Okay, let's erase this. So now, oh, sorry, what happened? Okay, and then now it will be, okay, sorry. So now it would be, so this is n, and then this is times 1 over 19, right? And then the nc2, I think you can use this formula. Okay, let's write here. So the NCR formula is actually n factorial over n factorial bracket n minus r factorial. This formula is given in exam also. Okay, so let's use this formula. NC2 is actually what? N factorial over r factorial. So the r in this case is 2, and then n minus r, which is n minus 2 factorial, like this. And I think you can, but we all know n factorial is actually n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. And then 2 factorial is 2, right? And then this will be n minus 2 factorial times 1 over 19. And then cut. So you will left with n equals n square minus n over 2 times 1 over 19. But we all know this one is atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. So it will be time. So when I times 1, nothing happens lah atas. But 2 times 19, this will be 38. So like this. And then you will end up with 38n equals to n square minus n. And then you end up with quadratic n square minus n minus 30, sorry, n square, okay, 38n move there, become minus 38. So negative n minus 38, I think is negative 39n. Betul lah. Yeah. And then it will be n square minus 39, n equals 0. Factorize out the n, tinggal n minus 39 equals 0. And then take the first bracket equals 0. And then second bracket equals 0. And then n equals 39. N equals 39. So 0 and 39 is the final answer. Okay. Okay, let's move on to section B. Okay, in section B, there's 3 questions, but you only need to jawab 2 soalan. You only need to choose 2. So 13, 14, and 15, you only choose 2 questions. But I will do all of it. Okay, I will do all of it. But in exam, you don't do all of it lah. Unless you already very confident, you have extra time, then only you do the extra one. But since we are doing revision, I will do all of it. Okay, 13, this is definitely quadratic punya chapter. Okay, you see all this alpha, beta, then you know already. Okay, so 13a, given the quadratic equation, this one, where a, b, and c are constant, a cannot equal 0, of course lah, because if a equals 0, then it becomes linear equation already. Okay, it has roots alpha and beta. So roots, it means x1, x2. Show that this one and this one. Okay, so soalan jenis show. This is the type of question where student always struggle. Like show punya soalan, they always give up one. They always say cannot do. Okay, let me show you how to do. Okay, the equation they give you is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And they also mention something, the roots is alpha and beta. So these are all the information I know. X1 is alpha, the x2 is beta. But this is not the information, because they ask you to show that this one, right? So I have to buat tak nampak this one. I have to do myself, and then hopefully my final, how to say, my final step looks like this. Okay, because if it looks like this, then I can write the word shown. Okay, so now let's try to do. Okay, so we have to pop out tak nampak yang ni. So, okay, let's try to do now. Okay, first of all, I know that this is a quadratic equation and I can take everything divide by A, right? So when I divide by A, it will be B over AX. This one will be C over A equals 0, okay? And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to compare this equation with the other equation I get from these two info later. I want to compare them. But before I compare, I have to convert these roots to equation first. And how to do that? Well, if x is alpha, x is beta, it means this must be x minus alpha, x minus beta equals 0, right? Because whenever you tekan calculator to get your roots, you always have to tukar tanda one, if you remember. And after you tukar tanda like this, you can expand x times x squared, x times negative beta x, negative alpha times x, negative alpha x, and then negative alpha times positive alpha beta equals 0. And now you can see that sini ada x, sini pun ada x, so you can actually write plus and then you factorize out the x. So what happens when I take out x from here? You're left with negative alpha. What happens if I take x out from here? It will be negative beta. Okay, and then plus alpha beta equals 0. Can you see this equation is in general form? Just like this equation also in general form. And this both equations you can compare them. They should be the same equation, right? So now what I can do is I can compare what's in front of x, b over a, and then compare to this, all right? And then what's the number back, c over a can equals to this, right? So what happens is it becomes what? Negative alpha minus beta equals to equals to b over a, positive, right? This one is positive, okay? And then the other one, alpha beta equals to c over a, right? And can you see this one? You can take out the negative, so it'll be alpha plus beta like this. Because you take out already, and b over a. So alpha plus beta equals to what? Negative b over a, and the alpha beta is c over a. And if you look at these two things I circle, it's exactly the same with what they write here. So alpha plus beta equals negative b over a, alpha beta c over a, which is the Sopor method. This is the Sopor method. Okay. So this is how the Sopor method come from. Alpha plus beta negative b over a, alpha beta c over a. So you can write the word shown. So done already. Okay, let's go to soalan B here. Okay, I need more space. So it's okay. I will just do this. Make it smaller. Even smaller. Even smaller. And then move down a bit. Okay. All right. Let's go to B here. So I will do B here. Okay. Sketch the graph of this quadratic function fx equals to 2 bracket x plus 2 square plus 3. They want me to sketch. So we all know sketching punya soalan, we need to know the shape, right? So what is the shape? Okay. This equation is in vertex form, right? I hope you know that. Okay, this equation is in vertex form. And if it's in vertex form, the number in front will tell you the shape. If it's positive, it's U shape, negative N shape. And if it's U shape, then it will have minimum point. If it's N shape, it will have maximum. And the number here will tell you the X coordinate, but at the same time, it will also tell you the axis of symmetry. And then the number at the back will tell you the Y coordinate of the turning point, and also they will give you the minimum value ataupun the maximum value depending on the shape. Okay, hence form a quadratic equation. Yang ni nanti lah. This one nanti. Let's do this first. So first of all, U shape or N shape? The A is 2, so it's U shape. So straight away, I'll draw a U shape. Okay, let's draw nicely. But I will empty some space here. I will kosongkan some place here because I need to do something. What I have to do, I have to do the b squared minus 4ac because that's the step one. Step one is to draw the curve, and the second step is to draw the x-axis. But I don't know where should I draw my x-axis because I don't know how many roots this equation have. That is why I need to do the b squared minus 4ac. So what I do, I have to jadikan general form. But before I jadikan general form, can I know what's this point, the minimum point? The answer is yes, because it's in vertex form already. So you just take it out. It will be plus 2, jadi negative 2, and then the y coordinate will be just 3. And the axis of symmetry will be x equals negative 2. But I still need to know where to put my x-axis, right? Actually, I know already lah, because if here is negative 2 and here is 3, then the x-axis must be like this. It means the b squared minus 4ac should be smaller than 0. It must be no roots, okay? But even though I know already, I will still do it just to be safe. So 2, okay, expand. Depan square, x square. Depan times darab belakang darab 2. 2x times 2, 4x. And then 2 square is 4, close bracket, plus 3. So you will end up with 2x squared plus 8x. 2 times 4 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11. And then I will do the b squared minus 4ac. Of course, you can also tekan the mode, eqn, and so on, and then see whether you get two different answer or one answer ataupun undefined. But this one I know is undefined already. Okay. But the proper way is doing b squared minus 4ac. This is the correct way, the proper way. So b is 8, the a is 2, the c is 11. So I should end up with something like, okay, 64 minus 8 times 11 is 88. Negative 24. So can you see it's smaller than 0? It means I should draw my x-axis really like this. Like it doesn't touch. It means it has no roots. It means if I try to tekan mode, eqn, I tekan A2, B8, C11, I will end up with no answer. Okay. I will see this symbol I ataupun this one. Okay. Means undefined lah, tak ada jawapan. Okay. That is why it has no roots. Okay. After I do this, this is step 2. Step 1 is drawing the shape. Step 2 is this. Step 3 will be the, okay, I already know it's no roots, right? It means that there will be no x-intercept, but there is still a y-intercept. So I should know the y-intercept. And what's the y-intercept? It's this, okay? It's the c value, which is the 11. But where to draw my y-axis? It should be like here. Why is it here? Because I already know this is negative 2. So the y-axis should be at 0. So takkanlah you look at sini, right? Doesn't make sense. So it should be here, and I will just label this as 11. I will label here 0. I will label here fx ataupun y pun boleh. And then this equation also I will label it as 2 bracket x plus 2 square plus 3. Then I complete already. This is my sketching. Okay, and by the way, you don't have to draw in graph paper. This type of question don't need to draw in graph paper. It's just sketching punya soalan. You just draw at the answer space. Okay, sketch the graph, done. I should have sketched already. And then they say, hence form another equation if the graph is shifted 3 units to the right. So the whole graph now I shift 3 to the right. So what will be my new equation? Okay, the original equation is this. This is the original equation. But now when you move to the right, what will happen? What do you think will happen to the 2? No change, no change. What do you think will happen to the x plus 2? It will change because this value actually determines the axis of symmetry. So if you move to the right, will your axis of symmetry change? Yeah, of course. Of course, the x coordinate of the turning point will change because you are moving to the right 3 unit. So what it will be? What is your new axis of symmetry? It's not x equals negative 2 anymore. It's not this line anymore. It will be x equals to 1. So you have to write x minus 1. Let me explain. Because negative 2, I have to plus 3. And negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. Okay. But why I write minus 1? Yeah lah, memang kena tukar tanda 1 mah. Right? That's why even though this is negative 2, they write plus 2 here. So this is minus 1. And then plus 3. What about the plus 3? What do you think I'll write here? I will write plus 3 also. Because this is just telling you the y coordinate ataupun the minimum value, maximum value. So it doesn't change. The minimum value is still no change. Okay. That's why it's still 3. Only the axis of symmetry change. The shape never change. The width of the curve never change. The y-intercept never change. Okay, maybe the y-intercept will change, but doesn't matter. But like the y coordinate, what I'm trying to say is the y coordinate of this will not change, even though you're moving there. But the x coordinate will change because it's not negative 2. Because when you move there, the x coordinate will change. Okay. Okay, let's just quickly check with the schema because I don't want to write the wrong answer. Okay, betul lah. Negative 2. Yeah. Okay. But of course you don't have to draw all these lines one lah. Okay. This one I just draw it just now to explain it. Okay, but it's not necessary. Okay, let's just make it kemas. Yep, that's all. Okay, let's go to number 14. Remember, we are doing section B. It means in exam you only choose from 13, 14, 15, you only choose 2 soalan. Okay, but I will do all of it. Okay, 14, given equation of curve is this. I think this is differentiation. New soalan. Okay, so soalan A, find the GF gradient function. Do you remember what's GF? Means the dy dx lah, of the curve by using first principle. Okay, first of all, we all know the dy dx is right. Power times number and then power minus 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Power minus 1 is x power 1. So 1 tak payah tulis. And then differentiate negative 6 is negative 6. And then division 5 is 0. But 0 tak payah tulis. So this is the answer. This is the answer. But the problem here is they say by using first principle method. It means you can't use this method. You can't use this because first principle is different. Okay, but the answer after I do the first principle method, the answer should be the same. Okay, and I know student pay less attention to this method because jarang tanya one in exam. Okay, but Since now they ask, then I'll do it lah. Okay, so let's do it. Y equals to 3x squared minus 6x plus 5. So they ask for what? First principle method. So how to do first principle method? Okay, let me tell you the step. The step is change the y to y plus delta y and change the x to x plus delta x. So the x here will become x plus delta x. And then this x also will change to x plus delta x. Okay, and then plus 5. And then now you will write y plus delta y equals to, this one you can expand, right? So how you expand? Depan square, x square. X times delta x times 2, it will be 2x times with delta x. And then delta x kuasa 2 is just delta x kuasa 2 lah. And then close bracket, minus, okay, this one can darat masuk, minus 6x. And then minus 6 times here, it will be minus 6 delta x plus 5, right? And now you can masuk the y actually, because we all know y is equals to what? 3x squared, sorry, y is equals to 3x squared minus 6x plus 5, right? So I can masuk here 3x squared minus 6x plus 5, and then plus delta y equals to 3 times x squared is 3x squared, 3 times 2x is 6x, times with delta x, of course, and then 3 times delta x squared is 3 delta x squared, and then minus 6x minus 6 delta x plus 5. And now you can cut 3x squared minus 3x squared is 0, negative 6x plus 6x is 0, 5 and 5 also can cut. So you just left with delta y equals to, okay, this one and this one and this one, they both have similarity. And what's the similarity here? They all have delta x, delta x, delta x, means I can factorize out the delta x. So when I take out, you're left with 6x. When I take out the delta x, left with 3 delta x, because it's delta x squared, right? So after you take out one, there's still one more. And then take out the delta x here, you're left with negative 6. And now you can find the delta y over delta x. It's 6x plus 3 delta x minus 6. And now you have to remember writing this. dy dx equals to delta y over delta x. Sorry. So delta x minus 6. Okay, the dy dx will equals to limit delta x approaching 0, delta y over delta x. Okay, it means if I want to find the dy dx, I will take the delta y over delta x punya equation, but ganti the delta x with 0. So 6x plus 3, ganti this with 0 minus 6. So the answer is 6x minus 6. Can you see this answer is same with this answer? But I get here just from one step only. Okay, but the first principle method, can you see, is so much work, but you still end up with the same answer. That is why we don't use this method to differentiate anymore. Okay, we only use this when the soalan asks us, when the soalan wants me to use. Okay, then only I will use it. Okay, then maybe you will say, hey, Junhao, you never teach me before lah this method. Okay, I got teach you. Okay, you sendiri yang lupa saja. If you go and check your example, look at the last example. Okay, I forgot example how much lah, 30 plus or something. You check the last example. We got belajar this one in class. Okay, it's just that I never pay too much focus on it, but I pernah ajar you in class. Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, soalan B, find the coordinates of turning point. So we all know that differentiation got how many application? Got 5, right? 4 or 5. The first one we learned about how to find tangent normal. Second one, we learned how to find the minimum point, maximum point, ataupun turning point, which is taking the dy dx equals 0. The third one is rate of change, kadar perubahan. 4 is small change, perubahan kecil, ataupun approximate change. 5 is the limit. Okay, and all this is under differentiation punya, all the big topics inside differentiation, big subtopic. Okay, B is coordinate of turning point, so it's the second one. So the moment you see the word minimum point, maximum point, turning point, there's only one way to do it, which is by taking dy dx equals 0. And we already know the dy dx equals to 6x minus 6 just now from here. So B, I will write what? Dy dx equals to 6x minus 6. And then I'll write when mt equals 0. Means the gradient of tangent equals 0. Because when you're finding turning point, the mt is equals 0. Okay, it means 6x minus 6 equals 0 lah. Okay, because mt is dy dx. So 6x equals to 6, x equals to 1. After you get the x equals 1, ganti this into the original equation, get the y coordinate of the turning point. So y equals to 3x squared minus 6x plus 5. X is 1, x is 1. Okay, maybe you forgot already about this chapter, I don't know. Okay, but all of this is actually very easy one. If you remember lah, if you remember what I teach you in class. Press calculator, 3 minus 6 plus 5. Let's go. 2. So the turning point is what? The turning point is 1, 2. But is it minimum or maximum? it's minimum. How I know? Look at the A. The A of the equation is 3, right? So it should be a U shape. So the minimum point is 1, 2. What about C? Yeah? What about C? C says find the equation of normal to the curve at the point 25. Definitely talking about this application, tangent normal. So find equation, find equation, find equation, find equation, find equation, find equation. Y minus y1 equals to gradient x minus x1. But before using this formula, I need to get my gradient of normal and also the point. But the point I know already lah, 2, 5. This is my x1, 2, and then 5 is the y1. But I need the gradient of normal. But if I need the gradient of normal, I need gradient of tangent first. So first of all, what I will do is I will write dy dx equals to 6x minus 6. This is the GF, the gradient function. But in order to get the MT, to get the gradient tangent, I need to gantikan value of x at the tangent point, which is this, 2, 5. Because this is the curve. This is the tangent. And they say find equation of normal at 2, 5. But do you know the tangent point and the normal point is the same point, right? So if I want to find the gradient of tangent, which is this one, I will differentiate the curve and ganti the x coordinate of this point, which is 2. So 6 times 2 is 12, 12 minus 6 is 6. But this is the MT, I want the MN, the gradient of normal. So what is the gradient of normal? The balik tukar tanda, negative 1 over 6. Okay, because they are perpendicular. Tangent and normal is perpendicular. So when you time M1 times M2 equals to negative 1. And if you don't trust me, you take this one times this one, you really get negative 1. After that, you can muscle to the formula, which is y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. But this time, the gradient, you will muscle negative 1 over 6, and the passes through point is 2, 5. Okay, so the passes through point is 2, 5. So now let's muscle the formula. So it will be y minus y1 is y minus 5 equals to something x minus x1, x minus 2. This is negative 1 over 6. Final answer, negative 1 over 6x minus minus jadi plus 2 over 6 is 1 over 3. But the minus 5 pindah jadi plus 5, right? So y equals to negative 1 over 6x plus 1 plus 15 plus 16 over 3. Done, right? Let's just check with the schema. Negative 1 over 6x. Yep, exactly the same. Yep. So finally, we can move on to the last and the final question. Okay, the final question, question 15. Diagram 7 shows a semicircle. The moment you see the word semicircle with center O, then you know at the center O, tarik to A is radius, tarik to B is radius, and also the angle here is 180 degree ataupun pi radian. Pi. Okay, but I'll just erase all of this because it looks very messy. So let's read yang bawah pula. Given that CD is parallel to AB, label lah. CD is parallel to AB. Okay, and the length of AB is 20 cm. Label lah. 20 means this is 10, 10 lah. Because if the whole thing is 20, then you divide 2 lah. So the radius is 10. And the length of CD is 17.32. Where is CD? Okay, here 17.32. Okay, and then using pi is 3.142. Find A. Find A, the angle COD in radian. Where is COD? Okay, let's draw some lines here. CO, and then OD. This is D, right? So what they want is this small, tiny angle here. This one. But how to get this angle? How to get the theta here? Okay, first of all, we need to know about all the formulas in circular measure. We have the first formula, which is for arc, S equals R theta. And then we have area of sector, which is 1 over 2 r squared theta, second formula. And then we have the third formula, which is the chord formula, 2r sine theta over 2. And the last formula is the area of segment formula, which is 1 over 2 r squared bracket theta minus sine theta. And if there's triangle in front, you have to use degree. And if there's no triangle in front, you use radian. But what if all these four formula cannot work? If these four formula cannot work, then you use right angle triangle. Right angle triangle. And it means you will use the Pythagoras theorem ataupun triangle. Sokato. Okay, but for this question, I think I can use this formula. Why? Because this is a chord. Do you remember what is chord? Chord in Bahasa Melayu is perentas. Perentas. And what is perentas? Perentas is a line, but it's not the radius. It's a line. It joins the circle from side to side. From the side of the circle to the side of the circle. Okay, but it's not. It doesn't pass through the center because if it passes through the center, then we call it diameter already. So I can use this formula because we know the chord is 17.32, and then it will equals to 2r sine theta over 2, and the radius is 10, and then sine theta over 2, and the theta will be exactly this theta that they want us to find. But they say find this angle in radian, right? So if they want in radian means I have to convert because there's a triangle in front. It means when I get the data will not be in radian right away. It will be in degree. How I know? Because there's triangle in front. Okay, let's press 17.32 divide 20 because 2 times 10 is 20. 17.32 divide 20. Okay, wait, 17.32 divide. Okay, I got 0.866. So 0.866 equals to sine theta over 2. So if I want to find this angle, I will tekan shift sign lah. So I will leave the 0.866 here, and then I will tekan shift sign 0.866. Shift sign answer. 59 degree, 59 minute. But belakang is more than 30, so I have to plus 1, so you end up with 60 degree. But of course, this is not your answer. You have to write theta over 2 equals to 60. But since this is first quadrant, sign positive, right? So we have first quadrant and second quadrant. So the second quadrant answer will be 180 minus, which is 120. But I think I will end up cancelling this question. Why? Because later you have to take this one times 2. 60 times 2 is 120. 120 also times 2 is 240. So can you see this one is impossible? I have to cancel it lah. I will not correction tape it. I will not erase it. I will show the pemeriksaan I sudah buat, but I will just potong it using my pencil like this. So this is my answer. Okay. It means that this angle is 120. Hey, let me ask you why I cancel this question? Why I cancel this answer? Why I cancel the 240? Yeah lah, because how can this be 240? Like this. Okay, like this is 90, right? Like this is 90. And like this is 180, right? So if it's 240 means it's more, it's like the angle should be like this already. You found what I'm saying? So the whole thing here is 180. How can this be 240? It doesn't make sense. Like the whole thing here is 180, and then this one which is smaller than the whole thing is 240. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's why I reject the answer. And that's why this is 120. So it means I can erase this and proudly write 120. So, but before I write 120, I have to convert to radian first. I forgot about that. So times pi over 180, and they say pi use 3.142, right? So just follow them. So let's press 120 times 3.142 divide 180. Okay, I got a decimal 2.095 red. 2.095 red. This is the unit for radian. So it means that this angle is actually 2.095 radian ataupun 120 degree lah. Okay, we can go to B now. Find the perimeter of shaded region. Okay, shaded region got how many lines? Consists of how many lines? 4 lines. 4 lines, not 2 lines. 4 lines. So what are the 4 lines? So the perimeter of shaded region is consists of AC times with B times pula. So plus AC plus with BD. Okay, and then plus with AB, and then plus with CD, means here plus the whole thing here and CD. But I will not write CD. Actually can like CD. Okay, but let's not call it ACBC because it's very confusing. Because if you write AC, the AC can be the arc, but it can also be the chord, right? So let's call it the arc, right? Because AC is actually an arc. It's not a straight line. So it's actually arc AC plus with arc BD. That's what it means. Arc BD. So arc AC plus arc BD because they are arc. Sorry, BD. And then this one you can write because it's a straight line, right? AB and CD is straight line. So plus AB plus CD. Okay, actually I already okay, how to find arc AC first of all? Use the first formula lah. S equals to R theta formula. And the R I already know I can use 10. But the theta can use what? Okay, the theta you don't use 2.095 because the theta is only here only, right? So how to find this theta here? Okay, if you want to find this theta here, it's very easy. You just take 3.142 minus 2.095 and then divide 2. Okay, then you get already. Let me explain. Because the whole circle is 180 degree, right? So I already know this is 120 degree. So you want to get here and here, and they are the same size, right? So I just take 180 minus 120 divide 2. Okay, but since I know this formula, I need the angle in radian. So why not I don't take 180 minus, I just take pi minus. Because I know 180 degree in radian is pi. So I just take 3.142, let's press, minus 2.095, and then answer divide 2. So I straight away get 0.5235. So straight away I know this one, this angle in radian is 0.5235. Okay, so 0.5235. and then I times with 10, then I get the arc AC. What about the arc BD? How to find arc BD? Well, it's the same. It's also 10 times this one. So if I malas, I can just write plus times 2 terus. Because the arc AC and arc BD is the same value. So I just times 2 plus with AB. AB I know already is 20. CD also I know already it's 17.32. All of this is because I got label. That's why I know all these things. Okay, let's press all together. 10 times 0.5235 times 2 plus 20 plus 17.32. 47.79 cm. Okay, 47.79 cm. Let's go to soalan C, which is the final and the last question. And then we are done with this video. So the C question, I think I have to do down here. I don't have enough space already. So soalan C, they ask you to find area of shaded region. So AOSR. But of course, in exam, you write full, don't write in short form. So area of shaded region, where is it? Is this. But this is not a rectangle. It looks like a rectangle, but it's not. Because rectangle should be like straight line, straight line, straight line. But this is a arc. Can you see this is arc? So it's not a rectangle. So how to find this area? And I don't think it's a segment also. So how you want to do it? You have to take something plus something ataupun something minus something. So maybe some of you will say this. First, find the whole thing. Means find the area of semicircle and then minus with area of segment, because this is a segment, right? Because it consists of two lines, arc and chord. Okay, so maybe some of you will buat macam tu. You take the area of semicircle minus the area of segment. Okay, boleh, betul, betul. But I won't do it like that. I will do it different. I will do it like this. I will take area of sector times 2 and then plus with area of triangle. And the area of triangle, I will use the 1/2 AB sin C formula. Okay. But of course, even if you use the other method also, the answer will be the same one. Okay. So let's repeat what's my plan here. My plan is to find area of sector. Okay, but times 2 and then plus with area of triangle. Okay. Why area of sector times 2? Because there's two sector here. First is this one and then this one. And then plus with the area of triangle. Okay, how to find area of sector? 1/2 r squared theta. Okay. 1/2 r squared theta. R is 10. The theta I forgot already, but I find already just now 0.5235. So 0 in radian, I need to put in radian. But I will times 2. Why? Because there's two sector that is same size here. And then plus with area of triangle. And the triangle, I will use what formula? 1/2 AB sin C. And the A will be here, the B will be here, the C will be the included angle here. So A and B will be what? 10 lah. Because look carefully. This triangle, this line is 10 times 10, right? So the A is 10 times 10, or you can write 10 square also, okay? And then sine C, which is the sine included angle, but don't write don't write the angle 2.095 because you want in degree this time. Because can you see there is a sine, there's a triangle in front. So definitely you have to put the 2.095 in degree, which is 120. Because before you get the 2.095, the original angle is 120 in degree. So you should put 120. Okay, press all of these, you get answer. Okay, 2 and 2 can cut. 100 times 0.5235, I don't think you need calculator, 52.35, right? 10 square can cut with 2, become 50. So 50 times sine 120, let's press. 50 times 120, okay. 43.30. And then tekan answer plus with 52.35, it's 95.65. Okay. So did I do it correctly? Yes. Yep, that's the answer. Okay, so that's all right. Okay, bye bye.